Well, hindsight is a wonderful thing. Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel. So I want to take a look today at, well, I've had a revelation. I really have. I want to go back and take a look at something that came out in June of 2024, earlier this year. And I want to re-examine it because something has become clear to me. And I want to put it forwards because I smell a rat, a very Meghan Markle shaped rat. So I'm looking at an article in front of me from the Daily Mail about Meghan wearing a black tracksuit. I think it's Adidas or Adidas. I think in the UK we mostly say Adidas, and I think mostly in the States people say Adidas. But if I say Adidas, you know what I'm referring to. So she's wearing this black Adidas tracksuit, with the stripes on the arms and the legs. And she was spotted by an influencer. This is where it gets really curious. Apparently filming in Beverly Hills Park, or a Beverly Hills Park. And the article questions, could Meghan be hinting at a new collaboration? Now, of course, this was in June. We are, at the time of recording this, we are almost in October, the very end of September, going into October. And we have seen head nor tail of Meghan doing any kind of Adidas collaboration. Now, I know that sometimes these campaigns they can film something in the summer and then it can come out in the winter, or it can come out 6 months later, 7 months later. I'm not sort of doubting that. But there's just a few things that don't seem to add up. Now, I have watched the video clip. It's a very short video clip, and it was put out on TikTok. So the account is What to Do in LA, all one word, and she's known as the LA Girl. Now, I've had a quick scroll through her content, and it seems like the sort of drivel that Meghan might be interested in. So the LA Girl she has a moderate amount of followers. And of course she's based in LA, where, Meghan is Montecito, LA. You know what I mean? So it seems like the sort of account that maybe sort of lifestyle, coffee in one hand, keys swinging on your hips, that kind of girl. Seems like the kind of thing that Meghan might be interested in. I don't think she's friends with Meghan, but it seems like, maybe Meghan could be one of her followers and subscribers. And maybe this is what I think happened. I think that obviously Meghan has signed with WME, and I think Meghan is trying to get to work with brands. But of course, no brand in their right mind would touch Meghan with a barge pole because of all the negative PR that Meghan and Harry have created about themselves from their own very bad actions, words and deeds. So Meghan is faced with a problem. What do I do? How do I get brands on board? Well, the one way that you can get brands on board is to make brands think that they are missing out. This is where I think the plot thickens. I think WME, or even Meghan herself, don't know, has come up with this terrible idea to try and trick brands into thinking that you are working with another brand. So what's the easiest way of doing it? Put on a very, very well-known, recognizable, branded tracksuit, go out somewhere very public where you stage a photo shoot or a video shoot, and you get an influencer to to just drive by and take a little video clip or a photo of you doing so. And then put it out on social media and wait and sit back and let all the publicity come in. And then maybe other brands will see and think, oh, Meghan's working with Adidas, we need to get her. The only thing is it hasn't worked. And we certainly don't see any other brands working with Meghan. I say this because it just suddenly struck me when I looked back, because we haven't seen head nor tail of this Adidas campaign, in quotes, campaign. So But why do it in public? If you want to be filmed under a tree or with foliage in the backgrounds, then she could have done that in her own garden. Why go to the side of a road where people are driving by, where you're not going to have the privacy and the calm to film anything? Why do that? Why not just do it in your own back garden? She wanted to be seen. This is my point. She wanted to be seen. And it wouldn't surprise me if she didn't contact, or one of her team contacted this LA girl to come and do a bit of a drive-by. I'll be here at this time. Make sure you're there and bring your camera. You know what I mean? Also, the other possible explanation, which I don't think is true, is maybe she's filming it for the upcoming Netflix cooking show. The only problem is, why on earth would you be wearing such a heavily branded tracksuit when you're filming a cooking show or a lifestyle show? We already know that Meghan favours the beiges and the bland and the big baggy wrinkled clothes. So if you were filming something for that, she'd be wearing beige. We know she'd be wearing beige, and we know that it would be baggy, and we know that those fibres would never have seen a steamer in their life, yet alone an iron. Heaven forbid. I mean, Meghan's house in Montecito, you will not find an iron or a steamer in there. None of her fibres have seen a steamer, ever. They've never been kissed by a steamer, ever, and we know that. So I don't think it was for anything to do with that particular project. What would she be doing? Filming a lifestyle segment where she's running in a heavily branded Adidas tracksuit? No. If she was going to be filmed jogging in anything, she'd be wearing something that she's trying to sell herself, a Meghan Markle branded tracksuit. Do you remember the tracksuits that used to have Juicy on the bottom, the Juicy Couture? Who wants Meg on their bum? You can have an M on the one cheek, M on the other, you bend over and it says Meg. So Meghan's friend, I say friend in inverted commas, Beyonce, had a contract or some promotional thing with Adidas that I don't think worked out to be very well. So I think maybe Meghan is just basically touting for business. She's doing the Megsy baby shimmy. Come and see what I've got. Come and see what I can do. So come and see the sorts of publicity that I can generate from just being papped at the side of the road. It's all a little bit alarming, isn't it? And it's just completely not washing. And like I say, all of these months later, it's really good to come back to this story and actually take a look at what has transpired since. We've heard nothing more of it. I think WME has signed up basically a dead duck in Harry and Meghan. Well, Meghan, who has signed up with WME. And I think, they thought it was going to be easy to market Meghan to the world. And there isn't the appetite for anything to do with Meghan when it comes to selling things. I cannot wait to see what this A.R.O actually turns out and transpires to be. Meghan has even had a difficulty with trademarking A.R.O, American Riviera Orchard. Apparently, she went to the trademarks people in the US, and they came back with that you can't trademark the place Riviera. So American Riviera, apparently you can't trademark that. So we don't even know whether or not she's going to be able to use American Riviera Orchard. She might have to completely rebrand. How embarrassing after that, dramatic launch when she didn't even have any product to sell, to then have to, completely change everything. And apparently her squiggly, that squiggly logo, apparently has got problems with it as well, with the descriptions of it. And so she's hitting a few hurdles with that. I cannot wait to see that completely flop, because nobody apart from Meghan's rabid Sussex squad fans are going to buy those products. What I think will happen is Meghan will have a limited amount of products made. So maybe she might have a batch of a few hundred, And then, of course, there will be a few hundred Sussex Squad devotees who will, of course, buy it. And, to support their icon, to support their Megsy. And then she'll say it's sold out. So she'll be trying to allude to the fact that it's maybe sold out millions, when really it's probably only sold out a couple of hundred. And I think that's the sort of hogwash that we'll get at the time. But the facts and figures will out, and then Netflix is going to drop her like a sack of you-know-what. Yes, that. So it's not going to work out. We've also had a story come out about Harry and Meghan with the missing $6 million. $6 million, baby. Where's it gone? So I know that from, being self-employed, doing taxes, that in the UK you work a year in arrears. So apparently there was $6 million worth of donations. Remember, they started off with big donations. Then the next period, it was like $2 million. And then apparently there was this $6 million that came in, I think, in 2 separate donations that wasn't accounted for in the previous year's account. So people are like, where is this money? Where's it gone? So the next account filing, I think, is due in November, so not too far away. So we haven't got long to wait to see whether or not it turns up in this next period. And I think the media are jumping on, saying, where is this money? To kind of railroad Harry and Meghan to declare it, because Harry and Meghan might not have declared it and might be trying to siphon it off in other directions, probably playing the legal system. But nevertheless siphoning it off. So if we don't see this $6 million turning up in the accounts, where has it gone? Has it gone to pay for some more Megsy baby baggy clothes? It certainly hasn't gone to buy a steamer, has it? Definitely not. And it's, oh my goodness, that gets me. Harry's hair. So when we had that CCTV type footage of Harry turning up at the tattoo studio, the one thing I didn't comment on, which everyone was commenting on in the comments, was Harry's hair, or rather lack of Harry's hair. He literally looks like a monk from above without... I think what Harry's been doing is having hair fibres. I reckon when he's out in public, he's been having those spray-on hair fibres which thicken your natural hair. They only work if you've got wisps of your own hair. But I think he's been spraying that on. I don't think he's been wearing a hair system or a toupee. But I think from above, he hadn't got anything on his head during that tattoo parlour visit, which again, says to me that he wasn't doing any filming. He was there in a private capacity to get a tattoo or to get a piercing. Imagine if he had a Prince Albert done or a nipple piercing. Maybe Meghan could tether him somewhere in the garden. Maybe it's a ring. I don't know. But he went in there for something private. And I don't think it was tattoo removal or anything like that. But he went in there for something. And he did not have anything hair-wise done to his head. So there was no filming for any TV shows, my lovies. Absolutely not. Now, the reason why I bring up his hair is because it is quite shocking how fast he is losing his hair. Now, as a male, I know that, male pattern baldness is a thing that affects men. And I would never, ever, 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 ever take the piss, to excuse my language, take the piss out of another male for them losing their hair. But Harry seems to have no problem in doing that. Remember how he took the piss out of his brother William in Spare, very publicly. That was terrible, 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 terrible thing to do. Wicked it was, wicked. Absolutely disgusting. Men losing their hair can be very traumatic, extremely traumatic. So I would never take the fool out of someone for losing their hair. And I'm not going to do it for Harry, and I'm not going to do it for William. Certainly not. If anyone losing their hair, they have my full sympathy. Millions of men around the world are bald. And, you know, it's not an issue to me. You know, William, I think, looks really hot with his, you know, baldy head and his beard. Oh, swoon. You know, embrace it. Or do whatever you need to do to get it covered up if that's what you want. Hair transplants, you know, hair systems, spray on hair fibres, whatever. Doesn't bother me. That's not what I'm bringing the issue with. I'm bringing the issue about Harry making fun of William when, you know, it's happening to Harry. Those in glass houses should not cast stones. And I think it's absolutely appalling. And now we're seeing the karma play out because, you know, a year and a bit later, Harry is drastically losing his hair. So I think that's a little bit ironic, isn't it, my loves? Karma at its best. Someone said, oh, you know, Harry, maybe he was getting a hair tattoo. I don't think he was getting a hair tattoo. I think it would take longer than an hour to cover that gap. Maybe Meghan's ordered a whole shipment load of the orange Crayola, and maybe she'll be colouring him in later. I don't know. But I just thought that was important to remember because, yeah, I just think, why on earth would you humiliate William publicly for hair loss when it's happening to him? Anyway, so yeah, back to the point. I think Meghan was trying to tout for business. I think she was trying to make brands aware that she's available for business. And I think she paid or got that influencer to drive by and get that footage to try and get it out to brands. In terms of marketing, that's what I think she did. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Do you think it was a Megsy baby ploy to sell her wares? Buy my jam, buy my tracksuits, buy my dog biscuits, whatever. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. And of course, do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.